This show is phenomenal. I've loved it ever since it debuted. This is as close to getting a comic book on TV or in any form of media, like every week, just turning the pages and waiting for the next issue to come out, in this case, television series. But I got to ask, first question is, how much discussion or debate was there on how to present the central mystery of the show? And did you ever consider starting it in the real world?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for all the things you're saying, especially about it feeling like a comic book, because that was always the intention. And to that point, no, there was never any discussion about starting it in the real world, ever.
Fascinating. Now, Monica Rambeau, she seems poised to be a breakout star of the show, especially after episode 4. Was Monica always the central part of your initial idea, or were characters like her and Jimmy Woo and Darcy, did they kind of just come in later to fit into the puzzle pieces?
There was a character like Monica. She served the purpose of Monica in my pitch. And then, it was a later discovery that we could use the Monica Rambeau for that character, and that was so exciting when we put those pieces together. And then Jimmy and Darcy were always part of the story.
Interesting. Now, people love anti-heroes, but it's even arguably more challenging to make audiences kind of hate or question someone they already love. How dark can we expect Wanda to get, and will she get to the point of no redemption in this show?
That is a really good question, which of course I cannot answer, but I like how you phrased that. I mean, one of our goal was always to understand her more fully, and to empathize with her and to have compassion for her. So I think that we're going down a lot of really exciting roads with the show, but people, audiences will always have a full understanding of what's going on in Wanda's heart and mind.
What does Vision want in WandaVision?
What does Vision want in WandaVision? That is a question we ask ourselves a lot. And I have so many answers. What I will tell you is he wants to be with his wife and love her, and he wants to be with his family.
Now, I know I'm sure there's so much detail that goes into each and every script. And talking to some of the other cast members that did the sitcom era style shoots, they said that what was on the page is pretty much what was performed on screen. And it seemed like in the real world stuff, there was a little bit more chance to improvise. Can you talk to me about the detail in the scripts? Because the devil is in the details, after all.
Sure is. Yeah, the sitcoms were pretty rigorously written and staged out of necessity, and also because the sitcoms aren't meant for improvisation. That's not really how that works. In the sort of sword space, there still wasn't a lot of improvisation in terms of like dialogue or that kind of thing. I mean, Kat and Randall both are skilled comedians. And so we would discuss ways to plus lines and plus character moments. Like, for instance, Randall, it was an early part of a different draft that had Jimmy Woo doing that thing where he like accidentally overshares. And when Randall saw that script, he like flagged that as something that he really liked and felt was really true to Jimmy. So then it became a runner because Randall liked it so much. Similar things with Kat, of like, Kat can make anything funny. So like whatever was on the page, she would just make funny, but I would like ask her if there was a way to like plus it or make it better. So it was less about sort of like in the moment changes and more about like working with the actors and enhancing.
Now, every Friday night, me and my friends get together and we kind of do the Disney Plus group watch, and we come up with theories. I have to ask you, what have been some of your favorite theories you've heard about WandaVision so far?
It's such a tricky question to answer. I can't get specific because I don't trust my poker face. But I think the things that I love the most are, I don't know, it's kind of more the emotional stuff. Like I really like when people talk about like getting their heart broken by things or like finding a lot of joy in something. I really, really this week especially enjoyed everybody calling out, you know, Jimmy and Darcy being good at their jobs and like having grown and changed, you know, over time. Like that card trick thing, you know, we came up with that in the room and we thought we were so funny and cool, but like to have it explode on the interwebs the way that it has, we never anticipated that. It was just a tiny textural thing that Randall loved and practiced and practiced. And so it's that kind of stuff that I love the theorizing, don't get me wrong, but the stuff that like moves me and like really gets to my heart or those kinds of things.
I know. I am so proud of Darcy for becoming a doctor in that whole blip time. That was so cool. But I have to ask, so this is your third collaboration with Marvel. I have to ask, what other characters would you like to bring to the television screen or even to the big screen?
I also weirdly a tricky, that seems like that should be a real straight ahead character. I mean, question, but like nothing is in the Marvel world. I think there's so many characters that I love and would feel like honored to play around with. I mean, so I'll just tell you some of my favorites, not necessarily for TV shows, but like I love Valkyrie. She's one of my absolute faves. I mean, in general, I just love the Hulk. I think Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of Thor is just like a revelation. Like I don't understand how he found that particular thing. I've had an opportunity. Tom Hiddleston and I were trapped in Atlanta during the lockdown at the same time. So he's just like the most charming person ever, and I'm so excited for Loki. So that one's taken. I can't have that one, but like I'm psyched for it as a fan.
Now, how deep did you go with preparing for? Because look, this show's feeding us super fans with. There's so many Easter eggs out there. Has there been any Easter eggs that fans haven't caught yet that might be in plain sight?
It's not so much that they're Easter eggs that fans haven't caught. They're just things that it just really wouldn't be possible for people to predict.
Sure.
But like once things come to light, you'll be able to sort of like trace the through lines back.
Fascinating. Now, can you talk to me about when you first initially laid out this pitch? Because look, I'm so excited we got a Marvel show, but let alone this is such a creative new venture that I'm happy that Marvel is jumping into. But when you first laid out this pitch, can you tell me some of the initial reactions that anybody had?
Well, so I mean, the initial concept was Kevin Feige's. I mean, it was his idea to take sitcoms and put them together with Wanda and Vision. So all the sort of reactions of like, that's bananas. That I'm like, yeah, talk to the big guy. It's his idea. But as we were breaking it and you know, obviously no one in the real world knew about it, but the other, you know, producers and creatives at Marvel, you know, responded to it really well. I think because it's our job to examine form, right? And to we're meant to be experts of structure and storytelling. And I think what we were trying to do, and hopefully, you know, we have been somewhat successful at, is breaking the mold that we're familiar with in television. So yeah, I think that was a lot of the reaction of like, can you really do this? And we were like, we hope so.
I mean, it's phenomenal. Every Thursday at midnight, I'm there waiting for it. So look, I thank you so much for your time. This show is it's the best thing out there right now. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Joseph. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your question.